Welcome to the World Athletics Podcast. I'm your host, Joanna Hayes, and I'm thrilled to welcome four very special guests today, spanning four generations of world records, world and Olympic gold medals over 110-meter hurdles. I have with me Renaldo Nehemiah, Alan Johnson, Aries Merritt, and Grant Holloway. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Hello.
Thank you.
I would like to start with Renaldo Skeets Nehemiah. You are the eldest member of the crew today.
Says who? Says who?
And so, I mean, there's no actual proof, right? There's no actual proof. But what I wanted to ask you is, of all the years that you competed and then you've watched the sport and seen all the differences, how's the event and the sport overall, how's that changed?
I think for the most part, today's athletes come in with the mindset that they can run fast or as fast as we were running or I ran. During my era, that elusive 13 flat, sub 13 wasn't even a thought. And today I think because of the likes of Alan Johnson and Aries and Grant now, more people are believing that it's achievable. And so I love that. And especially from a patriotic standpoint, I grew up with the U.S. dominating the hurdles for years. And then we had, some Cubans come in, the Brits and different nationalities come in and taking it away from us for a little bit and kind of lost our way. And then I think the pride of the event and, with Alan Johnson coming up behind me and taking over for multiple world championships and Olympic gold medalists and leading the way for an Aries to come behind him. And then now Grant, who is just scratching the surface of his ability. It's a proud arrogance, if you will, because, I learned from Rod Milburn. And we had a proud arrogance to represent the event and be the best in the world. And so that's, at least personally speaking, that's what I've always thought, that we were the best in the world. And so I'm glad that we're we're the world record holder and we have the number one hurdler in the world from America.
Alan, how about you? You're just about a decade behind, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Now you two did race each other.
Happy 5-0, by the way.
Yes, happy 5-0, belated birthday.
Happy birthday, big dog. Happy birthday to the GOAT.
Hey, you are half a century old. I just want to make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Petty.
No, but yeah, Renaldo and I raced. I believe it was in 1993. We raced twice.
You were not born. That's correct.
I was not born. I wasn't even a thought. I don't even think I was even considered.
So it was, I think it was U.S. championships, and then there was a meet after that in Indianapolis that we raced.
We were going in different directions at that point.
One coming in, one going out.
Yeah, literally.
I feel like that's how it always is, though. Someone is going out and someone's coming in. It's just the era of the sport, especially as an American hurdler.
Yeah, that's true. So I remember 10th grade. I grew up in Fairfax, Virginia. So they had the mobile meet in Fairfax, and I had a seat in the front row at the first hurdle. I guess this was 1987. So you were there running. I can't remember who all was in the race, but I remember you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was neat. But how has it changed? I mean, it's, I came up watching Renaldo and Greg Foster, Roger Kingdom. And like Renaldo said, it was just understood, okay, if the Americans are going to dominate the hurdles, so if you want to be the top U.S. guy, be ready to be the top guy in the world. And during my time is when you started, the Cubans, Enio Garcia came up. He was an Olympic champion, ranked number one in the world. And then towards the end of my career, Liu Shang came up and he broke the world record, was an Olympic champion, world champion. So I think during my time, you just saw more hurdlers in the world devoting themselves to the event as we had as Americans and excelling. And I think it changed it a little bit. I mean, it changed the dynamics and made it a slightly more worldly event and not just Americans dominating.
Aries, you came up. So now, Aries, you've raced Alan, correct?
I have.
And is that kind of the same thing, right? On Alan's way out, your way in, you were a youngster.
The same thing, yeah.
What was that like? I mean, as you know, you knew who he was. It wasn't a surprise, and you know that the decorations he wears, and you know all these titles.
Yep.
And what was it like jumping in those blocks as a young 20-year-old or so racing this guy?
Yeah, I was 20. It was like a dream come true, to be honest. But I looked up to Alan from 1996. The Olympics were in Atlanta, and I grew up watching him run the hurdles there, and I had no idea I would even run hurdles. I just saw his race, and I remember him winning. And I told my mom, "Hey, I want to do that," and she was like, "Okay." She just laughed it off. And then many years down the line, I'm doing hurdles, and I'm racing against Alan. And, I never beat him. I don't even remember beating this guy, like, ever, to be honest.
No, you beat me.
Did I?
Oh, yeah,
I don't remember.
It was like that. You were like, "Don't look back. I got you. Don't look back."
No, he definitely beat me good.
In the era where I ran against Alan, there was a new guy. There were several guys that were running really well. The Cubans were still running fast. We had Dairon running well. We had Liu Xiang running just extraordinary. And that man he just seemed unbeatable, like, because he was just so perfect. And I studied this man's race. I studied Alan's race. I actually learned from Ronaldo growing up in high school or coming up in college. I studied his film and his trail leg mechanics. And that's pretty much how my technique was born, from studying Ronaldo's lower body mechanics. And my upper body mechanics is obviously something that's a bit unorthodox. And then after I did what I did, you see a lot more of the arm swing, which is something that we don't teach. That's something that you don't want to teach, but a lot of kids, they see me doing something, or they see someone who's done really well do something, and then they emulate.
That's kind of how it goes, right?
But yeah.
You see somebody else do it, you want to try it. And I think I've had that conversation with your coach before. That's just who you are. You don't want to take it away from you because that's who you are, but it's not something that would be technically sound, if you will, right? That works for Aries Merritt, not everyone else always. Now, you and Grant, one thing there's been a change over the years of that from 8 steps to 7 steps. You 7 step,
right.
Both of you guys. When you made this, did both of you start at 8 and make the switch to 7, or has it been always for you, Grant, a 7-step thing, or when did that switch happen for you, Aries, and then for Grant?
For me, it happened after 2011. I would remember being in Daegu, and I was racing against Liu Xiang, Dairon, Jason Richardson. I mean, David Oliver. The fields were stacked. I mean, the hurdles are always stacked. Let's get that clear. The hurdles are always stacked. We always run against each other. There's no ducking and dodging in the hurdles. If you want to run fast, you run against the best people. And I remember being in Daegu, and in the final, I literally had to come to a stop because I was running into the barrier with 8 steps, and I was chopping to do so. And that's when I had that come to Jesus moment, like, hey, these guys are taking 7. There has to be a reason. Like, I shouldn't have to break going into 1. I need to figure this out. And I end up just running terribly. I was trying to sprint and not run right in between the hurdles. And I'd run 13:10 that year. And I was trying to I could have medaled, and there was a lot of stuff that went on in that race that was bad for, the top guys. Like Liu Xiang got hit by Dairon. It was just a mess of a race. And, Jason got up in there and got that gold. And then I had that realization, hey, Jason is someone that, I ran against in college. He's someone that, I've beaten before. Why is he having great success with 7 steps and I'm not? And so we went back to the drawing board, and we really just started exploring the 7-step approach. And it was awful. At first, it was really bad. And then we just something clicked. I remember running 7 steps the year prior. I think I ran 7:46 in the 60-meter hurdles indoor with 8 steps. And the next year, I opened up my season with like 780 with 7 steps. And I'm like, man, this is a struggle. We need to figure something out. My coach was like, no, we need to stay the course. We need to, you have to commit to something. And it was something I struggled with. And we got it done. Every race after that was like 760, then 750, then 740, then went on to win world indoor title. And I ended up beating Lu Zhang there for the first time in my career. And I was just confused as to how I was so new at this approach. And then I beat Lu. And I only knew that the race would get better for me moving to outdoors because I'm a finisher. And I know Lu Zhang is also a finisher. So I just was always afraid of this man. I was always afraid that this man was going to like do something just dangerous because, he's just so poised and he always executes at the best of his ability when the stakes are at their highest. And that's when I knew that I was onto something here with the 7-step approach.
And Grant, to you with the so now you went from 8 to 7, obviously, probably at a much younger age.
Yeah, correct. So not to make everybody feel old, but and
it's too late. Too late.
My last year in high school was 2016. So in 16 in 2016, I was taking 8 steps to the first hurdle. Had for me, I say it was a decent high school career. Committed to the University of Florida, got under the wing of Mike Holloway. And right when I got on campus, I told him, Aries had just for example, I have watched all these people's films, and Aries had just went crazy in 2012. The 7-step approach was big. So when I got to campus, I told Holloway I wanted to do the 7-step, and like Aries said, it was a struggle. I think my first meet opened up at 763, and then I went to 7.8 like twice, and then back down to 7.6 to 7.5 to 7.4, and then throughout the years now I'm at 7.29. But it was a struggle only because it was
like that's no big deal.
Look, we're all hurdlers here.
I mean, I'm just a world record holder at 7.29. That's where I'm at. Let's keep talking.
It was a struggle, though.
Honestly,
it was a struggle, Mom. Only because it was it's just like Aries said. It takes time. It just takes consistency, and I've had the privilege to run against Aries, and I had the privilege to ask Aries to watch some of my film. I've had the privilege to reach out to Aries for multiple reasons, and he's been there as a mentor. Same with Renaldo and Alan Johnson, and I have the privilege to watch all these guys when they were all at their primes, and like Renaldo said, I'm only scratching the surface. So for me, my 7-step approach came very, very early, and I've been sticking with it ever since.
Thank you for watching the World Athletics Podcast. To listen to the full episode, click the link down below.